Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about self love. But before we get started, I just want to say I wasn't planning to do a discussion today, but because it's Valentine's Day, it made me think back to the time when I was single 9 years ago and what I felt not having a Valentine on Valentine's Day. Or for that matter, not having a special someone in my life for all the major holidays. I still remember feeling out of place compared to my friends or family members who were married or had a significant other in their lives. And even though I'm married now, I still think of you singles out there who may be currently in the dating scene or in a relationship with a partner. And then there are those of you who may have just ended a relationship and find yourself to be single again or soon divorced. While I recognize that Valentine's Day may be a sad day for some of you, I want to bring a word of encouragement to you. Realize that not all relationships are meant to be. There is a popular phrase that says some people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Now, this even applies to those of us who are in long-term relationship or marriage. We are all we all hope that our relationships last forever, but the reality is people, relationships, and things are constantly changing. So there's no guarantee of forever. Life can happen suddenly and we can find ourselves alone. Life happens meaning not just life happens meaning not just infidelity or divorce, but there may be all kinds of tragedies like car or plane crashes, terminal illnesses or diseases, old age, and simply two people growing apart and the relationship ends. My point is that we all need to keep in mind that when life happens, it's not the end of the world. Remember, people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So if that's true, then we can embrace this truth and still have hope. And you may ask me, but Lucia, how can I be hopeful when I just lost the love of my life? The answer is to take proper time to grieve, forgive, heal, and learn self love. And very often I hear the question, how long will it take to forgive? It's different for everyone, and sometimes we may not feel total forgiveness until much later, meaning months or even a few years. So all we can do is take one day at a time. Focus on self love, and at some point, when we are happier and loving ourselves, forgiveness will naturally follow. Okay, so I just want to stop right here and just say that this is a common question that I often hear is how do we forgive, right? If someone had wronged us, we're at that point, we may be really angry and we wonder, how can we forgive? Well, it's not easy. And I know some people say, "Oh, just just forgive, and just let go, and forgive and forget." It's not easy. In some situations, when there's been a serious wrong and we are in a lot of pain, if we've invested a lot of time in a relationship and then all of a sudden we've been wronged, it's difficult. It's difficult trying to get past the anger, let alone the forgiveness. So I don't want us to be hard on ourselves. Don't be hard on yourselves, and just realize that it takes time. And like I said, sometimes it could be months or even years until we actually feel the forgiveness. But the key is to take it one day at a time. And if we focus on self love, at some point when we are happier and we're loving ourselves, uh, the forgiveness will naturally follow. So, what is self love? Self love means loving ourselves. It's not relying on others or looking to others to make us happy. If you haven't yet, please check out my most recent book, Fairy Tales Are for Frogs: The Reality of Happily Ever After. It's a short read and it talks about self love and finding happiness from within. You can get my book on the links section of my YouTube channel profile page or just go to Amazon.com to purchase the book. But for today's discussion, let me just read a paragraph from my book pertaining to self love. On page 14, it reads: in the context of happiness in relationships, it means finding happiness within ourselves by doing the things that bring us joy, unapologetically owning our own truths, generally acknowledging our mistakes, defending ourselves by speaking our truths without fear. having the personal integrity and objectivity to do what's right, setting healthy boundaries with others by saying no when needed, compromising without sacrificing our own identity, not tolerating toxicity or maltreatment, giving and receiving love reciprocally, sincerely apologizing when we have wronged others, being optimistic and positive, trusting and believing in our own opinions and convictions, making decisions that's in the best interest, serving our higher good as well as the higher good of others. Okay, so let me just say this again. I think this is kind of a lot to digest. So let me just say it again so you guys can try to take it all in. Okay. In the context of happiness in relationships, it means finding happiness within ourselves by doing the things that bring us joy, unapologetically owning our own truths, genuinely acknowledging our mistakes, defending ourselves by speaking our truths without fear, having the personal integrity and objectivity to do what's right, setting healthy boundaries with others by saying no when needed, compromising without sacrificing our own identity, not tolerating toxicity or maltreatment, giving and receiving love reciprocally, sincerely apologizing when we have wronged others, being optimistic and positive, trusting and believing in our own opinions and convictions, making decisions that's in the best interest, serving our higher good as well as the higher good of others. So, for those of you who just went through a breakup and are single or divorced again, please do yourself a favor and seek counseling to work through your grief and process your emotions. Counseling is sometimes needed to heal the possible unresolved traumas or wounds from childhood or from past adult relationships. It is critical to heal so that you can learn self love and then find happiness from within. Um, so I just want to stop right here. Uh, it's um not all ending of relationships will require counseling. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. But in a situation where you see yourself in a consistent pattern, if the last 3 to 4 or 5 relationships have ended the same way and you keep finding yourself attracted to the same type of toxic partners, and you find yourself in relationships where you know it's not healthy for you, but you can't find a way to get out of it. Okay, these are all signs that you need to heal. You especially if you're in a relationship where you can't seem to break away from, or you keep making up, breaking up, that kind of dynamic, okay? It all falls under the umbrella of a toxic relationship, and usually in toxic relationships, you will need to heal, and and until you do, um, you continually be drawn to these kind of dysfunctional relationships where you, end up creating a trauma bond with. And trauma bonds can be pretty powerful because you're actually tied to somebody who, is triggering you, and you both are trigger in most cases, you're triggering each other, and it's not in a healthy way. So it's important to be able to heal so that you can finally break those trauma bonds and heal and learn self-love. In summary, I encourage all of you to be hopeful that even if you don't have a significant other to love you right at this moment, you can still choose to love yourself. On this Valentine's Day, while we can't change what has already happened in the past, we can instead focus on loving ourselves today so we can look forward to tomorrow with happiness. Okay, folks, so that's my words of encouragement for today. I want to wish all of you a happy Valentine's Day, and especially to those of you who are hurting and are alone at this moment. Okay, just know it's not going to be forever. So, again, keep the faith, and everyone have a happy Valentine's Day. All right, bye.